Hi, I'm Bonnie Spindler, the Victorian specialist, and I'm here in Golden Gate Park. Actually, the Panhandle of Golden Gate Park, which is the oldest part of Golden Gate Park. This section of the park was sand dunes, and they didn't even know if it was possible to get things to grow here. How would they turn these sands into a world-class park? So McLaren started by planting barley and then putting manure on it and then planting the cypresses that you see and eucalyptus trees. And after those stabilized the soil, then he could start planting other types of trees. So these are the oldest trees in Golden Gate Park. So just imagine, to put this in perspective for you, the Panhandle was created 2 years before Yellowstone, our first national park. And these trees are 152 years old, and they're still going strong. The city at that point was lit by gas, which was a huge improvement from kerosene, and it made the dark nights less dangerous for people to go out, and people could work later at night, both benefits of the Victorian era gas lights. So it is in that context that contractors started to build along our Central Park West, because they copied New York, and created Victorian mansions. We had paper magnates, sugar barons, all kinds of wealthy people building along the Panhandle so that they could look out at the park. There is something so restorative about living on a park in a city, and it makes a huge difference. And the Victorians realized that by creating parks, they made their cities more livable. Let's go see in one of the houses. It was built at that time frame, a beautiful, elaborate Victorian that is available now. Welcome to this beautiful Victorian home on the Panhandle of Golden Gate Park. The address is 1646 Fell Street, and the entire home is set up for entertaining. It is truly a spectacular entertaining space. The living room faces south, and you have a square bay window that looks out into the green of the park. There's also a fireplace in this room, which has an antique mantle, and it warms the room beautifully with its flickering flame. It's also attached double parlor style to the dining room, which also has an antique fireplace and an amazing tile set that's original to the house. There's several other things that I really love about this Victorian. First of all, the walls are huge. So if you're an art collector, there is a ton of space to hang art. You could put an entire gallery on the walls in here. In the ceilings, you have surround sound speakers, so you can hear music throughout the house during parties or just for your own entertainment. Also, the house is heated with radiant heat. So if you have allergies, there isn't a forced air furnace blowing air around and stirring up the dust. Radiant heat is quiet and stealth and enveloping. It's quite lovely, and it's a modern radiant system. My favorite part of this house, the beating heart of this house, is this incredible kitchen. There's a mahogany slab of wood in the center with a gigantic center island that incorporates a lot of cook space, countertop space. It hides a few of the appliances underneath. And in this room, you have a fireplace, the built-in buffet from the original Victorian for the display of china and glassware and special family pieces. You have a Sub-Zero, a 6-burner woof range, and windows to look out of. It's absolutely the perfect space. And for the real cook, a walk-in pantry for your truffles, onions, garlic, and all of the other herbs and unguents that you hide away from the general public. This kitchen is absolutely perfect, and again, you have the in-ceiling sound for entertaining, and it really is the heart of this house. This home is 2 stories, and it has 2 equivalent primary suites. Each suite has walls of closets, its own bathroom, and French door that goes out to the beautiful yard. The yard is landscaped, has multiple patios, and some grass, beds, just lovely. It's quite large and deep. This is the sort of home where you don't want to go out. You want to read a book because it's raining. You want to sit by the fire. You want to cook at home. You want to hang out in the yard. Thank you so much for joining me on this tour of 1646 Fell Street. I may be hanging out a bit longer after the tour is over and just enjoying the space because it's so cozy and so nice to be here. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Bonnie Spindler, the Victorian Specialist, and I'll see you again next time.